In high schools everywhere, senior year means one thing. What am I doing next year? Where am I going to college? Checking the mailbox for that fat admissions envelope is a daily event. But for some high school seniors, good grades, great scores, and lots of extracurriculars might not be enough. For undocumented and other immigrant students, college may be a dream that never happens.
And so I wrote a bill called the DREAM Act. And the DREAM Act says basically this: if you came to the United States under the age of 16, if you have lived in this country for at least 5 years, if you have no criminal record, if you graduate from high school, we will give you 2 chances to become legal in our system. The first opportunity will allow you to serve in our armed services, our armed forces. If you will enlist for 2 years of active duty, we will allow you to become legal in the United States. You are willing to risk your life for our nation, we are prepared to give you legal status. Secondly, if you complete 2 years of college, we will also give you that same option. That's it.
Jesus Castaneda is a student at Bluffton High School in South Carolina. He is a straight-A student who takes AP classes, and he is a state and nationally recognized public speaker.
I'm from Mexico. I came to the United States 3 years ago. I came from a place where there's violence everywhere. It's actually one of the most violent places on earth. It was the 5th in 2013. It was the most violent place in Mexico. So I came not here. I didn't come for economic reasons as many people do. I mostly came for security reasons, just so I could, be safe.
Lorenzo Barberis Canonico came to the United States from Italy in middle school.
So my mom and I moved in here in Greenville, South Carolina 6 years ago. The reason why we're able to do so is because my mom found work with a textile company that's a subsidiary in the United States. So she was eligible for the E2 visa, which allows her to bring one more person with her. So after a lot of talk, my parents decided that to give me the opportunity to be in the United States and pursue a life here, our family would basically split for however long it would take for my father to get his own visa and then immigrate here.
My life was, I didn't know anything else because it was since I was a child. So when I came here and I realized how everything was different, I was really surprised that it was actually it wasn't like that in other places. I mean, they will do things that you could see here in movies. Sometimes they will kidnap the police officers, they will cut their heads, and they will hang them from bridges so people will see them, and they will post these things like cartels. The cartels will put posts on the bridges, and they will write a message with the heads hanging from the bridges. All the cars that pass below will see it, and they will say things like "Don't mess with us" and stuff like that.
My name is Toby Kinsel, and I'm the Director of Bridges to a Brighter Future at Furman University in Greenville, South Carolina. But the thing that I see that is the greatest challenge is that even if they do succeed in school and they work really hard and they go to school for free, because we provide K-12 free education for undocumented students, once they get to that time where it's time to apply to college, they face a lot of barriers because federal financial aid is not given to undocumented students, and many colleges and universities don't admit them as citizens of the state. They're considered international students, which creates immense financial barriers.
Well, right now I'm applying to college. Unfortunately, South Carolina is a state where I cannot pay in-state tuition, so I'm trying to go out of state. I'm applying to all the major colleges that meet 100% financial aid for students. I'm applying to all of them. I want to study biomedical engineering, hopefully, if that's possible. So far, I've applied actually to 20 colleges. I reached the limit of the Common App.
Wow.
And I mean, I have gotten accepted already to some colleges, but the financial aid that they gave me doesn't cover what I actually need. They just cover 50% of that. So I'm not really sure.
The DREAM Act is now a part of a larger immigration reform debate, which is one of the most politically controversial issues in this country. President Barack Obama's recent executive order on immigration reform has only increased this political divide.
I would say this to the president, for anyone who is going to insist on citizenship for all 11 million, you might as well just hold up a sign that says we're not serious about having immigration reform. There aren't 11 million anything that can all pass a background check. There aren't 11 million journalists. Heavens knows there aren't 11 million congressmen who can pass a background check. So when you talk in platitudes about 11 million, everyone is, I mean, let's apply discrete facts and have differing levels of scrutiny depending on those facts. I think you would concede there's a big difference between whether you were brought here as a 6-year-old 20 years ago or whether you crossed the border as a 19-year-old 3 weeks ago.
There are an estimated 60,000 immigrant students in the United States, all of whom could benefit from the DREAM Act. But until Congress decides to reconsider the bill, either alone or as a part of a comprehensive immigration reform program, these students must navigate the increasingly difficult path to college. For Jesus and Lorenzo, their goals do not end at college. For both, they hope to live out the American dream.
Just for protesting, which like in the United States, they will never kill you for protesting at the government. It's like a fact that you can protest whatever you want. And it's, people take it for granted, but in Mexico, if you do something like that, they will probably kill you.
You can have different religions, you can have different cultures, you can have different ethnicities, you can have different sexual orientation, you can have different races. Being American is not about where you were born, it's about what you believe in. That's what it's about.